Have you ever noticed that almost every culture tells stories about strange and mythical creatures? For some, belief in these beings starts in childhood. Others dismiss the stories entirely, while a few claim to have seen something with their own eyes. Over time, many of these creatures have become enduring urban legends. Stick with us, because by the end, you'll discover 7 beings whose stories blur the line between legend and reality. First on our list is known as the bloop. That name comes from a sound recorded way back in 1997. To many, it seemed to be the signal of an enormous sea creature hiding in the darkest depths of the ocean. The sound was so powerful, it was detected by sensors thousands of miles apart. At first, scientists couldn't explain it. It didn't match any known marine life or human-made source. Few know the sound was recorded near the legendary site of Relier, the sunken city linked to Cthulhu in Lovecraft's tales. This coincidence fueled theories. Was the bloop connected to something ancient and terrifying sleeping beneath the waves? Today, most researchers believe it was the noise of an ice quake, a glacier breaking apart underwater. Still, enthusiasts of the unknown disagree. They suggest it could have been the call of a creature beyond our imagination. Whether the bloop came from a living being remains unresolved. But one thing is certain. The sound captured the world's imagination and reminded us how much of the ocean remains a mystery. If something unknown can hide in the depths, imagine what might surface when the sea itself turns against us. The next creature is one almost everyone's heard of. Godzilla, the giant monster from Japan and an enduring icon of modern culture. Unlike the others on this list, Godzilla is purely fictional, but its impact on culture is so enormous, it's become legend itself. Godzilla is a colossal reptilian beast, over 300 feet tall, covered in thick scales, and known for unleashing devastating radioactive breath. More than its fearsome appearance, Godzilla represents the overwhelming force of nature itself. This creature first appeared in the 1954 Japanese film Gojira. It was created as a symbol of the deep fear surrounding nuclear weapons after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Over time, Godzilla's role shifted from destroyer to protector, even to reluctant hero in many stories. Interestingly, in later films, Godzilla faces off against other legendary beasts like Mothra, King Ghidorah, and King Kong. Though its appearance has evolved over the decades, its jagged dorsal plates and sweeping tail remain unmistakable. Godzilla became much more than a movie monster. It became a cultural landmark. The character has appeared in political commentary, parodies, music videos, and countless advertisements. In Japan, there are statues in its honor, and its famous roar is so unique, it's been trademarked. With over 30 films, plus comics, games, and animated series, Godzilla holds a place among the most recognizable figures in cinema. Though such a creature never walked the earth, Godzilla endures as a powerful example of how fear can take shape and become legend. From a beast that rose from the sea of imagination, we move to another, said to emerge from the sea itself, with a song too beautiful to resist. The next creature seems charming at first glance, but its origins are far more sinister. The mermaid, also known as the siren. Most people picture the fairy tale version, a beautiful maiden with a fishtail sitting on a rock singing about love. However, the older legends told a much darker story. In ancient seafaring folklore, especially in Nordic and Celtic traditions, mermaids were feared beings. They lured sailors with voices so captivating that ships veered off course, crashing into rocks, and entire crews vanished without a trace. These dangerous figures were often called sirens. Descriptions from ancient tales speak of sharp teeth, pale skin, long claws, and eyes that glowed in the darkness. Few realize that in early folklore, sirens weren't even tied to the sea. They were creatures half woman, half bird. Over time, that image blended with stories of sea maidens, giving rise to the hybrid myth we know today. Modern culture has softened that terrifying image. Think of Disney's version, The Little Mermaid, very different from the deadly sirens of old. Still, some recent films have returned to the original threat, like the horror film The Lure, 2016, and the unsettling The Lighthouse, 2019. Do mermaids really exist? Science says no. However, sailors' tales, unexplained disappearances, and strange footage from the depths keep the legend alive. Not all legends dwell in the ocean. Some walk among us during the coldest nights, carrying chains and a name whispered to frighten children. Number 4 on our list is Krampus. While children in alpine villages eagerly await gifts from St. Nicholas, there's also a darker figure spoken of in hushed tones, the horned demon who appears at Christmas to punish those who misbehave. Krampus is described as a terrifying mix of satyr and wild beast, wrapped in thick fur, with twisted horns, and with chains and bells that clang with every movement. In one hand, he wields birch rods to strike those who've been bad, and in the other, he carries a sack or basket to take them away, into the forest or perhaps to an even worse fate. Krampus functions as the dark counterpart to Santa Claus. His legend comes from Austrian, German, and other Alpine traditions, dating back to pre-Christian times. In the 1950s, Austria even tried to ban the figure of Krampus, fearing it traumatized children. Despite those efforts, the story endured. Today, Krampus celebrations are common in various parts of Europe, with parades where costumed figures roam the streets, terrifying onlookers. In 2015, the creature even starred in a horror film bearing its name. Is there any truth to the Krampus myth? There's no proof it exists, yet the legend continues chilling hearts, especially on the darkest winter nights. While one terror lurks in snowy villages, another wanders through dense forests, leaving behind only fleeting footprints and endless questions. Next comes Bigfoot, one of the most famous legendary creatures in North America. It's described as an imposing, hairy, ape-like figure standing over 7 feet tall. Its appearance is usually placed somewhere between an ancient primate and a creature of the wild. Over the years, hundreds have claimed to see it, though evidence often consists of blurry photos, shaky videos, and large-sized footprints. The most well-known evidence is the Patterson-Gimlin film from 1967, which captured a large figure walking into the forest and briefly turning its head toward the camera. That brief piece of footage became legendary. Eyewitnesses have added their own stories. I was driving down a forest road when I saw it. A tall figure with long arms crossed the path. It didn't run. It just stopped and looked at me. Some researchers suggest the Bigfoot legend might have roots in Gigantopithecus, a species of giant ape that once inhabited parts of Asia. Bigfoot is often compared to the Yeti or snowman, but both are distinct. Bigfoot is said to live in North American forests, while the Yeti is linked to the frozen Himalayan mountains. Bigfoot is usually described with dark fur, while the Yeti is depicted as white. Is Bigfoot real? Science hasn't found concrete proof, but the story endures, fueling curiosity and reminding us the natural world may still hold secrets. Some legends speak of creatures born from nature. Others tell of beings shaped by human hands, created to protect but capable of much more. The next creature is among the most enigmatic, the golem, an imposing figure shaped not by birth, but by human hands. According to legend, the golem is formed from clay and animated through mystical rites. It obeys only its creator's commands, fulfilling any task until sometimes it becomes too powerful to control. Descriptions present it as an enormous humanoid of Earth, with crude features and an empty, emotionless gaze. Some stories claim it can grow to twice, even triple, the height of an ordinary person. The golem's story comes from Jewish folklore. The most famous tale tells of a 16th century rabbi in Prague who created a golem to defend the Jewish community from harm. To animate the creature, he inscribed the Hebrew word emet, meaning truth, on its forehead. To deactivate it, he erased the first letter, leaving met, which means death. The golem's influence continues in modern culture. In the video game Minecraft, the Iron Golem guards villages, introducing this ancient myth to new generations. Does a golem exist outside of stories? There's no proof, and many see it as a symbol, a warning about how strength and knowledge, if misused, can become dangerous. If a golem exists at all, perhaps it doesn't dwell in some hidden basement, but in human imagination. A creature molded from earth is one thing, but what about a beast stitched together by nature's own chaos? Part lion, part serpent, part nightmare. The final creature in this video is the Chimera. In ancient Greek mythology, it was described with the body of a lion, a goat's head rising from its back, and a serpent for a tail. To make it even more fearsome, it could breathe fire, an unnatural and terrifying combination. The Chimera was said to be the offspring of Typhon and Echidna, two of the most dangerous figures in Greek legend. It devastated the region of Lycia until the hero Bellerophon, mounted on the winged horse Pegasus, struck it down. Few realize the term chimera still appears in modern science. It's used to describe organisms that harbor genetic material from different species. For example, a mouse with human brain cells is technically a chimera, though a much more scientific version than the beast of myth. Today, the chimera appears in video games, novels, and anime, often representing fear, hybridity, and untamed power. Perhaps it's more than a monster. Perhaps it embodies what we can neither fully understand nor control. Does the chimera exist? No, but its image continues inspiring creators and disturbing imaginations with its chaos. Which of these legendary creatures do you think might still hold some trace of reality? Share your thoughts below. And if this exploration sparked your curiosity, subscribe to discover more real mysteries hidden in legend.